many of us are ready? If you're ready, the workshop is about to start. Can you just type in, say, I'm ready, ready? See me folding up my sleeves, ready, 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 ready to learn. Ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Let's roll, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Holy Spirit, we welcome you in this place. So right about now, the workshop is about to start and no other person will be taking us. I know a lot of us who've seen almost, if not all, the Mziaif movie, and the person that will be taking us is the person behind the sound of all Mziaif movies, and is no other person than Evangelist Joshua Mike Bamiloye. Please, with Jesus joy, can we join me as we welcome our brother for this wonderful session, my very own brother, the man behind the sound for Mount Zion. Please join me as we welcome Evangelist Joshua Mike Bamiloye. So we celebrate you. Welcome.
Joshua Mike Bamiloye is a drama minister, gospel music producer, singer, editor, and a digital artist. He is the director of Mount Zion Music Studios and Mount Zion Comics. He is also the supervising editor of Mount Zion Film Productions. He has released 6 albums in total and a few singles. He has scored background music and sound effect into 82 movies, mostly under the Mount Zion Film Productions. He is the video editing supervisor at the Mount Zion Film Productions studio. He is the second son of Evangelist Mike Bamiloye, president of Mount Zion Faith Ministries. He is a graduate of Bowen University with a BSc in Mass Communication. He is happily married to Tolulope Mike Bamiloye. Please join me to welcome Joshua Mike Bamiloye.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching from. My name is Joshua Mike Bamiloye, aka J Mikey, and I will be talking about background music and sound effects and also audio recording. I hope we can hear me clearly. Let's jump right into it. We have taken the opening prayer, so I'm hoping to be done in about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. That's all to be done so that we can have a robust time for questions and answers. And now some people might ask, so why do we do background music and sound effects? Why are we teaching it? Now, we're not teaching you how to play the keyboard. We're not teaching you how to sing do re mi. The reason why we are taking this course is because it is something that every person who wants to go into short movies, short films, documentaries, skits should know. This is a knowledge that is not based for just a special class of people, but every drama minister, every filmmaker, and every video personnel. So depending on the kind of thing you want to do, music is very important. Why it's also important is because video or movies and skits, etc., only 50% of it deals with skits, deals with the visuals. The remaining 50% actually deals with audio and sound and music. So if these things are lacking, if these things aren't properly looked into, no matter how magnificent your camera is, no matter how magnificent your editing is, no matter how magnificent your directing is, if you've only done 50%, you've only reached 50% of the capacity, and you've only scored 50%, you can't go past 50%. Because the remaining 50 is for visuals, the remaining 50 is for audio. All right. The remaining 50 is for audio and another 50 is for visual. So let's jump right into it. Pardon my swollen eyes right now. It's because we have been taking editing class since Monday. So I've been teaching since Monday. So, but we are here today, and the Lord will give us the grace to do this one as well. All right, I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'll be using, and I'll be sharing my screen. Thank you very much, Mommy. She has also been with us. Mommy Jai has been with us since Monday, so I'm really excited to see her here as well. Thank you, Ma. All right, background music and audio recording. Background music, film scoring, background scoring, according to Wikipedia, film score, also sometimes called background score or background music or film soundtrack, film music or incidental music, is the original music written specifically to accompany film for the actors. All right, specifically to accompany films, to accompany a film for the actors. And so the question that we would ask ourselves is, why do we need this? That's what we're going to be teaching today. So background music and film score is basically the music written specifically to accompany a film for the actors. All right. Now, the score forms a part of the music soundtrack, which also usually includes pre-existing music, dialogue, and sound effects, and comprises of a number of orchestral instrumentals or choral pieces called cues, which are timed to begin and end at specific points during a film in order to enhance the dramatic narrative and the emotional impact of the scene in question. What is this saying? There is a high importance there, and there is a strong importance between music, between visuals and music. When you see visuals, you are telling a story. When you add audio to it, when you add music to it, you enhance the effect of it. For example, when a movie is starting and then the movie goes written by this, directed by this, that is one thing. But now you put a music there that has a sound like boom, boom. You are giving the audience a feel that this movie is most likely going to be epic and powerful in nature. But if you are seeing written by, directed by, and then the music that is playing is you are telling us that it's probably going to be a happy movie, exciting movie. So can you see how audio is telling us what the movie is about, even when visual isn't doing as much? So music is meant to enhance the mood, the feel of whatever you're trying to pass across. Just like that's why it's very important to know the kind of movie and to be very intentional about the kind of sound that you're putting in your movie. You don't just take a track because you don't just play a track in your film because you like it. You don't play a track in your movie just because you like it. Some people love. Maybe they've heard this song by Dunsin, and they're like, I love this song so much. Please put it in that film. Yes, you love the song so much, but is that the appropriate kind of song for this movie? Those are the things that you have to keep in mind. Okay, so, and is that the appropriate? Now, it's one thing to have the appropriate sound for the whole movie. Now, is it appropriate for the scene, for the exact scene? That's another thing to look forward to. So that's what I want to teach us, right? And now some might say, oh, but I don't know much about music. Oh, but you can find out the principles of background music and sound effects such that when it's time for you to apply it to your own movie, to your own skit, to your own documentary, to your own podcast, you can tell your producer, your music producer, your sound person that this is what I want. I want something similar to this. Typical example, Mike Bamile does not play the keyboard. Mike Bamile does not operate music softwares, but he knows what he wants. And he will go to the producer and say, give me something like this, give me something like that. Okay. And that's how things have been for the first 20 plus years of Mount Zion before I even knew anything about music. All right. So let's continue with the slide. So let's talk about the styles and genre. These are the principles that will actually help you to know what to use for your track, for your movie. Based on these principles that you will know the kind of sounds that you have to use. Now, the nature of your background music varies based on the type of movie and most especially the genre of the movie. Let's first talk about some movie themes. So we have drama, action, horror, sci-fi, thriller, traditional epic, romance, and comedy. Drama, action, horror, sci-fi, thriller, traditional epic, romance, and comedy. These are the main genres of movies that we have. In Nigeria, the most common ones are drama, we have drama, probably thriller, and traditional epic, then romance and comedy. These are the most common ones in Nigeria. These three and this one, and then probably, okay, these four, and this one, and drama. We don't really do much of action, and we don't really do much of horror anymore anyway, not anymore. So yeah. And your soundtrack should tell your audience the kind of movie that you want to show them. Your soundtrack should do that. It is so if your movie is, for example, Abattoir. I don't know if any of us knows the web series Abattoir on YouTube. The opening montage tells us the kind of feel that the movie is. The opening montage has a lot of energy to it, pumping energy and a little bit of a mysterious feel. All right. By the way, I believe the chats are open. Okay, the chats are open. So you are free to put your questions in the chat while I'm teaching, because it also helps me to know what you are not understanding, if at all you don't understand what I'm saying. Now, Abattoir has a punchy intro because the kind of movie is thriller and it has a bit of mystery to it. So you are hearing to save us from this. So it's giving us that, oh, this movie is going to be punchy. Good question. What if we don't have access to a producer? I'll answer that very soon. So same thing with Abejoye. Abejoye season 4, for example, was this season 5 that we just did? It has this traditional feel. What was the song again for Abejoye? Abejoye was I think I should just be playing it a little bit for you. So I'm not using my mouth because it sounded really weird and I'm just using my mouth to say these things. So let's quickly go to it. Just for emphasis. Let's go to find that, for example. So I just want to play. Okay, I don't even need to share my screen for it. I can just play it directly, and I'm hoping that you hear. If you can't hear it, then you can let me know. So I'll share my screen and we'll hear it. Expression. So Abattoir. We're saying Abattoir has this punchy feel. Very punchy. I hope we can hear it. If we can't hear it, please let me know.
You can bump up the volume a little bit.
You say what, sir?
Just increase the volume a little bit.
Increase the volume. Okay. All right. Let me do that.
Thank you. Good. Thank you.
Is that good?
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Input, output. Let me even check if this will do any better. How about this? Was that better?
I think the previous one was better at beating sound than this.
Okay.
Now it's good.
Okay. So that is Abattoir, the bam, bam, bam. Whereas Abejoye gave a more traditional, epic, mysterious feel. Yeah, it gave a more traditional, epic, mysterious feel. So that was season 4. In the previous season, in fact, the previous season had a more, I think it was more mysterious. That was one. So I'm just giving examples. There's another one. Yeah. In season 2 and 3, it was more of a man was going to fight a traditional battle. So traditional. Now let's look at something that is very different. When we wanted to do mother-in-law, Mother-in-law is like I'll call it it was dramatic slash minorly romantic. So it had something like this. So this is a message for you, my brother. So can you see, if I had used this kind of sound for abattoir, it won't really work because it's kind of conflicting. It's about a man who belongs to a fraternity, and then he wants to initiate his son, and then the son goes crazy because imagine all that, and then you're playing ding 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 ding. No, so don't say, oh, I love that, I will love song, let's use it, you know. So excuse me, yes, like the train also. So these sounds, you have to be intentional, and the only way to be intentional, we're still going to get there in the lecture, is by by listening to sounds in movies, and professionally done movies, that is. The more you listen to them, the more you understand the language of music. So you might not understand how to produce, but you can understand the language. And in a way, every audience understands the language to an extent. But the thing now is, you are going to get intentional in understanding it. Every audience knows that when they hear bang bang, something bad wants to happen. When they hear, they know something bad wants to happen in an Igbo film, right? But we might not yet have been intentional in understanding it such that when it's time to produce. So now, through this lecture, we are going to be able to properly understand. That's what we want to do. All right. So let's try one more example, and then we continue with the PowerPoint. All right. All right. Now, another good example is Last Man Standing. If you've not seen Last Man Standing, it's on YouTube. You should check it out. Part 2 especially had this foreign gangsterism. There were gangsters involved. There was a girl there. There was a guy who was the leader of a there were a group of gangsters. Let me just put it that way. All right. And then they controlled the South Side, you know, and all that. So there's a bit of hip hop feel. These people are Americans living in Maryland. All right. So what kind of sound should we use? We cannot use bang bang. We cannot use bang bang bang. No, it won't work, because look at the environment. What kind of environment are you trying to portray? I'm trying to portray a foreign environment. So the kind of music that was used was what's the name of this track again? Is it this one? Let me see. Was it Street? I'm trying to look for the original soundtrack that was used at the end was was it this? Let me quickly find it. Okay. B. Yeah. This wasn't the main sound. This was used for the happy moments in it, but it had a rap. Yeah, the end credit had a rap. That's even what I'm trying to look for. It had a rap. Where is it? Tough. It's not tough. No. Let me just quickly go to it in the album 7. So yeah, this was the end credit sound. This is over. If you wanna see the light, put your hands high. By the way, this song will be out later this year in my EP, so look out for that. Don't let anybody tell you that this is over. When you can have a chance to start a new chapter. The devil with the devil didn't play. Bargaining for pleasure, but the devil brought pain. When you lose your soul, you ain't never the same. You think that you're in control, but you're just a slave. So you can see this one is rap. This is the first time that we're going to put a rap song in a Mount Zion movie. Someone will say, Mount Zion, you're using rap. It's a backslide. The point is, the style of the movie had a lot of guys in hood, someone holding a gun. A lady was taking the gospel into the ghetto. You know, so it had these boom boom. So even throughout the movie, you are going to hear a lot of trap beats. They call it trap beats. Okay, trap has this. So that's what you don't now take that beat and use it in Abejoye. As in, you have massacred the movie if you do that. Okay, you have massacred the movie. So so if you see Trial Last Man Standing, there were a lot of trap sounds. If you hear this one too, let me look for one tough. Yeah, tough. So this was representing the bad guy in the movie. So that if I play the beginning of, oh, the audio is low. Oh, sorry, my bad. Let me increase that one. Let me play that one more time. So as our mothers and fathers will say, yo man, you use yo man sound for where yo man sound is required. Okay. So the style of your sound depends on the genre of your movie. So when you're writing your script and they are going into film and all that, begin to think, what kind of movie is this? What kind of movie is this, and what kind of sound will apply to this kind of movie? So if there are village people, if it's a village setting, epic setting, Kabi SEO, etc., there should not even probably be piano in your movie. So we're still going to talk about the instruments that apply to the style. Okay, so now you might be wondering, so how do we know which one is going for which? Now that's why we say when you watch certain movies, the more you spend intentionally listening to movies, you begin to find out what applies to which. But we're going to try and cover some of them in this class. Okay, 15 minutes on my own clock. Okay, all right, so let's continue. Let us continue. So now this is another category, which are like styles. Okay, so family movie, village setting, suspense or action, war, youth academy. You might not bother yourself too much about this, but these styles also determine the kind of sound that you use. A family movie a good example of a family movie are things like My Mother-in-Law, Jailer to an extent, Bemi. I'm going to play some of their sounds later on, but that's a good example of family movie. Village setting, I've mentioned that before. We have Abejoye, we have there are many movies. Let me just go through some of the list I have here. We have Abejoye that I can think of for now. I have to go to my other library to check for the other ones. But yeah, so suspense or action, that's Abattoir, Last Man Standing. Which one again? Jailer is also suspense or action, but some of suspense. War, we've not really done any war film per se. Youth/academic setting. Now, youth and academic setting are things like in the foreign setting, High School Musical, where is dealing with students, who else again? Yeah, The Forgotten Ones is more traditional. It's traditional in nature. So yeah, things like that. So the more you are conscious of the style of your movie, the more it helps. If you are shooting a movie, for example, when we shot a movie in Kebbi State, that's in the north, there had to be sounds that was peculiar to the north. Let me look for that real quick. The Kebbi State, what's that again? Land of Fury. Just want to quickly bring that up. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now so you can see the beginning of Land of Fury. Land of Fury.
We're here in
okay, let me quickly switch.
We've been speaking to.
All right. Oh, come on.
Karaki town is a small town, not recognized on the state map. It is 90 kilometers away from the state capital. We're predominantly Christians. We love God and we love each other. We don't have everything, but we have shared everything. Farmers, fishermen, traders.
All right, let me stop there. So you might be wondering, okay, J Mikey is singing Hausa. How did we do that? So this was what I did. Yes, it's a Hausa setting. We cannot really be singing in English songs, and we can definitely not sing Yoruba songs. So what do? So I contacted one of the drama ministers there, Evangelist Joseph Okpadele. In fact, he was the one that acted the antagonist, the main bad guy in the movie. This is just Evangelist Joseph Okpadele. Yeah, this is him. So he was a fluent Yoruba speaker, English speaker, and Hausa speaker. So I told him to just send me a list of this. Joseph Okpadele,
because I'm going to.
Since I send me a list of if you've not watched Last Master, Land of Fury, you can also go and check that out. Okay, so he sent me a list. A short one paragraph of chanting and praises to God. God is a great God, the Alpha and Omega, the blah blah blah, etc. So he typed it and sent it to my WhatsApp, and I said, I speak Yoruba, so I know that if I should write Yoruba down and send it to somebody that does not know anything about Yoruba to sing it, he's going to butcher the song. All right, Oluwaku ishe, you're going to say Oluwaku ishe, So I said, now instead of writing it to me, read it to me in a voice note. So from the intonation of the voice note, that was what I used to sing, to be sure that I'm not breaking any of the intonation rules. Okay, so when I was to sing, he said Ya Uba Almadarkeri. So Ya Uba Almadarkeri. So following Ya Uba Almadarkeri. That's the same way I sang. Anyway, that's but that's by the side. What am I trying to say? Hausa setting, northern setting, therefore northern song. By the time we got to by the time the song kept going, you begin to hear more of because that was the feel of that movie. So I thought it was all chanting last month's time. No, it wasn't all chanting last month's time. We also rap. So that's how to be intentional about your movie. And some people might say, oh, this wala is too much. Why all this wala just for a movie? But then here's the thing. When you do a movie and then you are putting it out there, you are giving birth to a child, and that child is never going to grow. It sounds very gory and weird, but that's the truth. When you release any movie, you are giving birth to a child, and the way you release that child is the way the child will be forever. So choose one. Do you want your child looking nice and handsome? Your child, in quotes, that is your product, your what you have released. Do you want it looking nice and handsome, or you want it looking like Kwashoko? All right. So if you say, let's just do it, let's do, and you release it till you meet Christ, it will be on YouTube like that. So now this is not to say that aim for a perfect movie, because there is no perfect movie. However, do your best on each production. All right. Your best is a certain level, and then your next production will definitely be your new best. So if you never aim to reach your best, then you are just releasing productions that are just mediocre. It's even in your own eyes, because you felt maybe I don't have the time to do the best. So aim to do the best, especially in sound. Don't just look for the best cameras, the best of the best cameras, and then the best directors, and then neglect sound and music. Okay, we're still going to talk about sound effects, but I'm still talking about music for now. Okay, so let's go back to our slide. So let's talk about instruments. Okay, so there are also musical instruments that are specific for each style and theme, while some instruments are universal. For example, percussion is usually universal. However, percussions are more dominant in epic or traditional settings. Okay. I hope we got that. Same thing with a piano. Piano and guitar. Now, this one, let me even put a guitar here. And romance can also have piano. So suspense can have piano, but if you, I think you understand my point, etc. etc. So these things they are not exclusive. These are peculiar, but none are exclusive. I hope you understand. I hope you understand that none are exclusive. So in a village, in a movie full of suspense, you can still have piano. All right. If I begin to play something like, it's still piano, but it's talking about something that has a lot of suspense related to it. The same way, you don't apply chants to every movie. Some people say, oh, I like chants, like J. Mikey Pu's chant, and then a movie dealing with two people having being romantic, and then you are playing no. Chant has a mystery attached to it. And so because there is a mystery attached to chant, you can't put mystery in the mix of romance. Two people are being romantic. They are saying, oh, I will love you forever. I'll cherish forever. And then we're having, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You love something does not mean it's meant to be in your movie. Okay. All right. Some people said romantic chant. I beg, please. The only kind of romantic chant that is allowed, in filmmaking is oh, I don't, okay, let me just play the I know many of us might know this sound. We might know this sound. That's the only, yes, that is chant, but you have to be able to pull it off to try that, because it is chant, yes, but it is a chant that is telling a different message. All right, it is a chant that is telling a happy, sweet feeling. So it is not the chant, like, in fact, there was a chant that was actually used in that same Land of Fury. That chant is chant, but it's not chant of hello, hello, sister. Let's quickly go to that so that you can see the difference. I mean, you can hear the difference in this regard. So let me quickly go to it. When these people when the children were in the bus traveling.
Accept to blame. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
That is chant. But chant, like I said, is different from chant. That chant is talking about, is more mysterious. It's more of something. It kind of takes your mind into it makes you reminisce in a way. I don't know. It makes you reminisce in a way. But then doesn't make you reminisce. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel jolly. Okay, so you have to know the difference. That's why I said chant really isn't for romantic setting. So you have to know. Very important. The same way piano playing like is piano for something happy, but piano of is still piano, but they are saying two different things. So the ability to decipher it is very important. Okay, let's continue. I hope we are understanding this class so far, and it is not boring anyway. Because all right, next we have theme music. Theme music is a peculiar sound produced for a movie, radio, TV show. A film score is usually without lyrics so as not to compete with the dialogue of the movie. Okay, let's quickly talk about that. Now, theme music, it is very good for your movie to have a theme music. It is not compulsory. However, it is very good. Why is it good? So that there can be, just like you have visuals attached to your story, you also have songs attached to your story. For example, it's not compulsory and it's not in every case, but it is good. Let me give you a typical example. A sound, if I play this sound, if I sing this sound, some of us we know. If you know it, just put it in the chat. Lion King. Hey, you guys are good. Lion King. Let me do that one. Everybody. Who knows that one? Ha. Oh yeah, Titanic, exactly. So now you can see we are hearing the song, but we're like, it's this movie. I remember this movie. The movie has been, the music has been fused with the movie. Just like everybody wants to say, Mike Bamble, Agbara, told you Agbara. It has, you can't separate it again. Once they get that Agbara, it has fused together. All right. That's so making a theme song is usually nice for your movie. All right. So the reason why in that definition we said usually should not have lyrics is so that if you are playing it in your film, maybe that's something you should keep in mind. When you are playing soundtracks, always have the instrumental version of it. Why? So that you can use that one in the movie. It's not so good when people are talking in your movie and a song is playing with the lyrics as well. There's going to be clash because words and words, saying two words at the same time is not too nice. All right. So keep that in mind. So theme songs are good. It is not compulsory, but it is good. Are you going to talk about songwriting in theme music? Songwriting is another 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours lecture. The art of songwriting. That's why I'm not going in depth. That's why I'm rather saying, if you are not someone who is going into music, you can have somebody. Like somebody asked the question, what if we don't have access to a producer? Now that is, let's look at it this way. What if you don't have access to a camera? Are you going to shoot a movie? No. What if you don't have access to a cameraman? Are you going to shoot a movie? No. So you're supposed to have access to certain things before you say you want to go into filmmaking. Part of those things are a person who is good with music. Not necessarily, it could be a music producer. It could, in fact, it could be as simple as the keyboardist in your church. You just tell the keyboardist what you want, and then you find a way to record what he's playing and using in your movie. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because we can be saying, what if I don't have access to it? Well, that is what filmmaking is about. You need to have these things. Okay. Someone says, go to school. And I say, what if we don't have school fees? Well, if you don't have school fees, then you're not going to go to school. Some things should not be taken away for it. Some things should not be taken away because you feel you don't have access to it. So, all right. So let me so now songwriting. Songwriting is another topic entirely that I don't want to go into, because not all of us here are what's it called? Are music enthusiasts. So we are sticking it to be, maybe you're a producer or you're a director. All right. So yeah. So let's continue. Yes, mommy said pay for it. If you don't have access to a producer, go to someone that can do it and pay for it. Okay. Yeah, the requirement is the requirement. Exactly. Let's continue. Let's quickly go on. So cues and flows. Every good story has a flow. As the story flows from the introduction to the exposure, to the conflict, to the resolution, your music must flow accordingly. Being intentional is also a big deal while laying music in your movies. Why do you put this sound at this moment? Why do you cue this and why do you cue this and that sound in specific places? Professionally, it's called spotting. Okay, it's called spotting. What am I saying? Let me leave the slide on for a little longer. So what am I saying here? Every story has cues and flows. Some stories begin at a very high point. Maybe they will show you a bit of the climax of the story. Bam, 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 and then they will now start soft. Just like Land of Fury started with a war. They showed us a war. And then they started softly. So from softly, the story began to build. Every story goes this way. All right. And then after that, it concludes. All right. So the same way your music should also follow. Okay. In this beginning part, you start with something soft, because of course it is soft. When everybody's making noise and shouting and how dare you, your music should not be going. That's like somebody that doesn't care about what's going on. It's not his business. If a lot of you scatter the table, scatter the place, I'll be playing my guitar. No, the music and the audio should go together. So when everything is going all rocky, when everywhere is rocky, just like you're driving a car. If you're driving a car on a smooth road, your tires are going to sound smooth. If you're driving in a rocky road, your tires will sound rocky. All right. What can you say about using another person's song in your movie if it goes with your message? We'll get into that very soon. So if your car is in a rocky ground, you have that the same way. So if your scene is rough and very intense, your music should also be intense. Now, the level of intensity is determined by the level of the intensity and mind you, it is not about, oh, this scene is intense, I'm going to put intense music. This scene is soft, I'll put soft music. No, it is the message that you want to pass to your audience, not the message that is being seen. I'll say that again. In background music and sound effects, it is not what we are seeing that you are trying to augment. It is the message that you are trying to pass across that you augment. I'll give an example. Now, if you see a scene where a man is screaming at a woman and supposedly he is the husband, and he's saying, how could you do this to me? Do you know who I am in this house? Do you know who I am in this society? By default, you should say, oh, it's a tense scene. Let's put bang, 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 bang. How could you? But now, what if in the storyline, the man was shouting at the woman because he's trying to distract her from the other woman that he's cheating on, who is in the closet. And the wife already knows that he's trying to distract her. In that case, the man is shouting, but your music is not, your music could be rather maybe down, because you're like, this man does not know that this woman know already. So more of down, 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 down. How could you do this to me? And the woman is also like, in that case, you don't do no. It's what you're trying to tell the audience. You're trying to tell the audience that this woman already knows. Oh, down, 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 down. So maybe you're raising the music to the point where the woman will say, "My friend, shut up! I know she's in there." Bam! Music stops. Hey, you've nailed it. You've killed it. But if you are doing it means you are taking the audience for a full ride. That the audience will be like, why all the tense stuff? We know what is going on. We know. Do you get the idea? So it's not really about what you see. It's about what you are trying to tell the audience. Let's give another scenario in that same setting. The husband is shouting at the wife. But what if he was shouting like that because he's trying to say April Fools at the end of it. And the audience already knows that he's trying to say, he's trying to trick the wife. Maybe at the end of that old shouting, he's going to present her with the key to a car. In that case, you cannot be doing why? No, we know what he's trying to do. And maybe the kids are laughing in the other room that he's not bag again. All right. So it's more like how could you do this to me? Do you know why I'm in this house? You know, so you're turning it to humor at that point in time. Same action, 3 different interpretations, but depends on the music you put. So that's why music is really important. In that case, for those of us who like Dunsi and Nathaniel Bassey, you cannot be putting Dunsi and Nathaniel Bassey in such situations. No. And I'm going to explain. Let me quickly answer that question. What if you like using another person's song in your movie? Here's the thing about using another person's song in your movie. It's not bad, but if you don't know the person personally, even if you know the person personally, please, we are in the era of copyright and lawsuits. Back in the days, there probably wasn't any copyright and lawsuits. So we're going to take Panapasi Paul and what's his name? And Ron Kenoli's song all day, all night. Nobody's going to do anything. In fact, I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the songs of Ron Kenoli songs that we Christians have listened to was from a pirated CD. You can't, I'm so sure of that, because if you know how many pirated CDs were all over the place. But now that things are online, everybody's online now, the internet is alive, and the person's songs that you took is online, and the movie you want to put is on that same online. Once the digital connections clash and there's a lawsuit, maybe your movie is supposed to go for one international award, and they said, no, international award, we can't take this because you didn't collect permission from the owner of the song, and so we have to take it down. Or you want to post it on YouTube, and then you have to just mute that part of your movie. And the annoying part is YouTube has not developed enough to mute the music alone. Whatever audio is on top of it, it will mute everything. So it is risky to take people's songs without their knowledge. Okay, so I guess that answers that. Somebody saying, for a low budget film, what alternatives do you advise in getting background sound and audio effects? We are getting there. My PowerPoint slide isn't over yet. But I hope we understand so far. Mood. Every movie falls under a genre, but within a movie, there will always be different moods that will require certain types of sounds. For instance, a drama genre could also contain humor, action, suspense, or sadness. There are basic moods found in movies: conversation, all right, transition or a stab, tense, and conflict. And I think, okay, those are the 3 most important ones, and I'm going to explain. You see these 3 moods, you will find them in every movie. You will find them in what? Every movie. Every movie, people will talk in different styles. And if it's a Christian film, you can bet somebody's going to tell somebody about Jesus, or someone's going to tell someone about the bad life they are living and why they should change. And in such cases, you don't want to have no, when they are doing that. You want to have something calm. Okay. Let me go into my library of one of the movie folders that I have here, and you see. So let's say Jailer, for example, or even Abejoye, that is all hyper. There are times when conversations will happen. For example, look at this. Moving again, convo. I put convo in a bracket because I'm using it when people are talking. Now, the main track is this. This is the main track. But when they are talking, I'm using a slower, softer version of it. So imagine when this is going on, and then we are hearing something like, Kunle, I've been trying to tell you about this. You need to change. Some things that you're doing in life is wrong. Yada, yada, yada. You need to give your life to Christ. You need to give your life to Jesus. Blah, 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 blah. Can you see? That is conversation. All right? That is conversation. And in conversations, you try as much as possible not to use percussion. When I mean percussion, drums. Someone is preaching, except he's reaching the height of the sermon. Maybe, sermons are usually, especially if you write your script well. Oh my God, kudos to Damla Mike Bamle, Kabaya, and Mike Bamle and Gloria Bamle and all of them. See, there's a way they write their messages at those very high points that you build your sound. It starts soft, and then by the time it's reaching the maximum point, you can now put in the percussion, not from the beginning, but towards the end. But if it's a casual conversation, then you can go for something calm. If I show you another folder, you will see another, let me use Jailer for example. Now look at Jailer. Let's look for one. I'm looking for one that has to do with conversation. That's the conversation. Let's say this is the original track, for example. But then the conversation of this is probably this. So I can be talking here. Yesterday I had a dream and I saw you in it. So tell me, what do you think if we, talk about life and blah, 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 blah. So there is also, this is also one. But then it has a different feel. So there are so many like that. So you can have a track if your producer, your music producer, and then we cannot say we don't have access to it because there are so many music producers out there. Tell that you give them a sound or a track or whatever it is, and then they make it as robust as possible. You can now tell them to divide. We're going to get there in the PowerPoint. I only have 20 minutes left. Excuse me. They're going to tell them to divide each track. In that track, there is a piano, maybe there is a guitar, maybe there's a percussion. Separate everything and tell them to give you individually. Now, you can also tell them to slow it down. Give me a slower version of that piano. Give me a slower version of that flute, of that guitar, whatever it is. That way you can put, so maybe you have 4 tracks in total for your film. Those 4 tracks can be pieced into several, just like what I showed us here. Now, in Jailer, for example, the movie Jailer, we have 9 tracks. However, with those 9 tracks, one track has 4. Track number 1 has 4 variations. Track number 2 has 4 variations again. Track number 3 has, how many variations is this? Track number 3 has 6 variations. Track number 4 has, imagine, 9 variations. All right. Track number 5 has 6 variations, and so on and so forth. So it helps you to make the best of a particular track that you have for your movie. So you don't just take that singular track and play that singular track every single time. It gets boring to the ears. It brings fatigue. Another style you can do that you can speak to your producer is for a particular track starting with a single instrument, maybe the piano, and then it rises and you begin to add all the other instruments into it until it fills up. All right, that is another style. Let's quickly continue our PowerPoint for the sake of our time. So don't forget, every movie has different moods, and the most common are conversation, transition, or a stab, tense, or conflict. Because transition or a stab are dealing with things like when you are transitioning from one scene to the other, and there is and you have the overall view of your city. Because when you want to start a movie, it is usually good to have an establishment shot. That's the full name. All right, we'll call it a stab. So if the movie is in Lagos, you see some movies where the movie starts in Lagos and you see the Ikoyi Bridge. They've overused that bridge, but God will have mercy on us. You see the Ikoyi Bridge, and then you now have one music. So a stab sounds are usually lively because we are just seeing city view, cars passing by, drone shots, So you have to have something that will be interesting to the ears. At that point, you don't want to play something boring. So that's transition at a start. Same way when you're transitioning from someone's house to another person's house, and you show the person's house, let's say 3 weeks later, you want to say 3 weeks later, and then you show city of Lagos or city of Ibadan. You want to have something playing there. All right. So this is why you need a producer. Okay, it is very good. Your producer might be used to praise and worship type of songs, but you are the one that will tell him, this is what I want. All right. And then you give them examples. Sometimes you can hear a sound in a movie, and then you cut out that sound or record that sound on your phone and tell your producer, I want you to produce something similar to this. If he says no, fine, go to another producer. I want something like this. Okay. Let's move on. And now, tense and conflict. Why did I put tense or conflict? Because every movie that does not have conflict is not a movie. Your story must have conflict. It must have conflict, because that's what makes it a story. That's what makes it interesting. We want to see a conflict that is then resolved. Okay, so since every story has conflict, expect to have a sound. So what kind of tense or conflict? So if I show you my folder, every movie in my folder, there's always at least one track that is tense. Either bam, 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 bam. If your producer doesn't know about it, tell the producer that, see, we are entering the movie age. If all you know how to produce is praise and worship song, I'm sorry for you. Because by the time people start coming to you that it needs soundtracks and you're saying you can't do it, you are limiting your capability. And then producer will think about it that, oh, it's true. It's every day I'll be producing praise and worship song. There'll be times I need to produce real soundtrack. Right now, there are very few. We don't have many sound producers and film score guys out there. We don't. But challenge your producers. You have a friend that produces track. Tell him it is not only about. It's not only about. It's good, but that's not all there is. All right. There's a whole universe of imagination and style that can be done for filmmaking. Okay, and if they don't understand what you're saying, show them some of my tracks. Yeah, not to sound proud, but I have to add that. Let's continue. So I hope we are getting it. Now let's talk about the techniques in laying sound. I mean, I've gone through this a little bit. Splitting or separating tracks. So I've said some of the mistakes we make is that we tell a producer, although we get a sound and then we only use that singular sound, but learn to split and separate. It is very good. Let me give an example of a track that I have here. I want to, okay, yeah, let me get one from here. Open. I want to give an example. A practical example. All right, yeah, this is one. Don't close. So I'm going to share my screen now. You might not understand what you are seeing because it's a music production software. But for those of us who understand, that is fine. If you don't understand, it's fine. You just need to have an idea of what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let me reduce this a bit. So this is a track, right? If I play this track, this is what you hear. Shine above and beyond the darkness. Now, this is a complete track. However, let's say I just want the piano alone. This is the piano alone. We can use this piano for many things. This could be a conversational, this could be used for a conversation, right? That's the piano. All this right here is just the piano. Let me get another sound effect, another sound from the live. This is another one. Let me add this one. In fact, this one can be very nice for if maybe the woman is thinking, where is my husband? He's not back home yet. Where could he be? I don't know what is wrong with this man. what is wrong with this man? Eh? Every day comes back home late at night. And I've been wondering, where is it? You know, that is this. And this is still from the same track. All right. So let's look for another part. Let's say we get the percussion alone. This is the percussion. This one. Look for the no, this is not percussion. This is not percussion. I'm looking for the drums. The drums. Above and beyond the darkness. Okay, yeah. This is the percussion. This is the drums. Yeah. This is another one. So different parts of this track can be used for different things. If there was a flute and I would have also used it. So, and if you can even, if you want to go into the traditional route, you can use just the voice alone for another part. Let the light shine above and beyond the darkness. Let it cover all of time regardless. It is high time for a brand new revolution. The rising of a new dawn. So that is one. So you can see how different parts of the sound can be used for different parts of your movie. I have 10 minutes left, so let me speed it up. So build up, silence and pause. Build up, I've already talked about build up. Sometimes it starts small and then it begins to add. And then silence and pause. What is silence and pause? Not every scene must have music. This is very important. Not every scene must have music. Some scenes don't need music. And you need to understand that one of the easiest ways to know when your scene doesn't need music is maybe the scene that was played previously was very hyper. The next scene, if it is just casual, maybe the person wakes up in the morning and is taking a cup of coffee, you can just have that casually, okay? Doesn't have to have music. Yeah, sometimes silence. So let the ears of your audience rest. If you are playing music all the time, it becomes a fatigue for the audience, all right? And then give room for the natural ambience of your setting. And that brings me to ambience. So I'm rounding up now. Ambience, aka ambience, blah, 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 means the background sound which are present in a scene or location. Common ambient sounds includes wind, water, birds, crowd, office, noise, traffic, etc. Ambience is very important in video and film work. So what is ambience? Ambience is very good. Ambience, by the way, keep that in mind. When I'm saying not every scene requires audio or music, does not mean dead silence. In filmmaking, there is no dead silence. All right. Just like in real life, there is no dead silence. Right now, as I'm sitting here, I'm hearing the sound of the air conditioner. And it's having a humming sound. I'm sure where you are too, there is something sounding, either your fridge or your TV on low volume or something. There is something always sounding. So in filmmaking, there should never be dead silence. And we're talking about ambience. So the ambience also depicts the kind of scene you're trying to portray. Abejoye, for example, Abejoye's house was, please sir, can you upload your soundtrack online? I found very few Christian soundtracks online. We are going to be uploading some of them into manzaonfa.com, but I'm going to be saying that more in question and answer time. I don't want to say that because I'm teaching. All right, so in Abejoye now, there was a scene that was, Abejoye's house was shot in the city. It was shot in the city. However, Abejoye's house has been portrayed to be in a semi-rural environment. So we had to use ambient sound from that semi-rural environment and lay it over when Abejoye is in the sitting room. So you're hearing the sound of chickens, you're hearing the sound of goats, you're hearing the sound of car passing sometimes, but car passing to signify that it's not a full rural environment. So you see a sound of a car, but subtly, all right? In Land of Fury, we're talking about Land of Fury now. Let me show you this scene when one of the students were kidnapped and one of them was to read the Bible. You will hear one sound. I don't know if you will hear it here. Let me see if it's able to hear it.
Shameful sinner. You don't even know a book in the Bible.
So if you can't hear it well, let me just say, what was sounding in this scene, night scene, crickets. If you are shooting a night scene, this cricket was added in post-production. Let me show you my library of sound effects. So look at ambience. In this folder, I have a lot, and these are sounds I've downloaded from YouTube over the years. So we have market, airport, applause, city ambience, clock ticking, cold wind, countryside, high school ambience, horror ambience, hospital, jail, neighborhood, office. These are ambience sounds, very useful. If you want to depict someone in an office, download an ambience sound that is in the office. You know, if you want to see somebody in a in the night, someone wakes up in the middle of the night, you want to hear cricket. When we're shooting at Bejoy, a woman woke up in the United States in the middle of the night, even last man standing. My thought was, oh, these people, their windows are usually 99% of the time closed. So how do we hear cricket? But then my other side of brain said, I beg, doesn't matter. It is what you want the audience to hear that the audience will hear. So I don't care. You will hear the crickets. And I still put crickets there. So crickets are very good. All right. Yeah. Crickets are very good. Even if you are in Mars, Rary and Lonely says, unless you're in, even in Mars, there is sound. There is a sound. And I'll play something that sounds like Mars for you. Let me play something that sounds like Mars for you. Yes. I'm going to play something that sounds like Mars for you. So you know that even in Mars, there is a sound. So there's nothing like dead silence. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Okay. Coming center, coming all, Mars to Earth. Does that sound like Mars? Tell me that doesn't sound like Mars. Tell me that doesn't sound like Mars. All right. So there is sound in everything. Even in dead silence, there is still sound. All right. So ambience depicts that more than your music. If music depicts the mood and the setting, the mood and the feel, ambience depicts the setting of your movie. Okay. Let's quickly round up. I have how many minutes more? Let me see how many minutes I have left. 5 minutes to go. All right, let's fire on. Let's fire on. So becoming a good film score, watch more professionally done movies. You may not be as good as you are, but your music taste will improve the more you watch them. You'll know good sounds and lame sounds. You also know what kinds of sounds work for each scene. Many of the sound effects that I do are, you know, especially when I was just starting, is from the movies I've seen. I've seen these movies and I see how they use certain sounds, and it also helps me to know how I'm supposed to use sound. For example, if I want to do a comedy sound, a comic sound, the sounds that I've used are because I've seen a lot of movies where they are trying to depict humor, excuse me, and then they have certain instruments like the pizzicato. That's a sound that they use a lot. Tum, 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 tum. It's usually for comedy kind of sound. As a high-pitched string is usually for when something is supposed to happen or about to happen, but we are not sure the outcome of that thing. So we have this high-pitched string to just suspend the audience into that something wants to happen, but we're not sure what's going to happen yet. So either that fades away or something loud comes after. That's the way it works. So when you watch professionally done movies, it helps you. And then when you're watching these movies, pay attention to the background music and how it rises and falls. This may probably be the second time you're watching the movie. You'll also be able to understand how certain sounds are used in movies. Also take time to listen to end credit sounds. End credit sounds are very, I have a buffer about 10 minutes. Okay, thank you, ma. End credit sounds are many Hollywood movies after, you know, the end credit can last like for about 15 minutes. Now, many of us don't know this. And I know a lot of us always make this mistake. We finish the movie. Once we see directed by Pam, we switch it off. But if you want to go into filmmaking, you are supposed to, in fact, there's something I do sometimes. If I watch the movie on my phone or my iPad, when the movie ends, I use my earpiece, listen to the end credits while I'm no more watching the movie. So I'm doing other things while the end credits sound is playing. Why? Because many times, all the sounds that was used in the movie, they splash it in the end credits. Okay, now this is another trick. Some of those sounds might not have copyright. So if you want to get them, you can always find a way around them. You didn't hear this from J. Mike Q. You didn't hear this from J. Mike Q. Something whispered into your ears. So maybe you can use that for the low budget movies or the simple sounds that you want to, the simple short movies you want to use. Go to the end credits. They splash their music there because maybe they've used, imagine someone did a track of 5 minutes and only 3 seconds was used in the movie. You will put all the 5 minutes in the end credits. All right. So keep that in mind. Watch the movies, listen to how these sounds are used, listen to how certain sounds are used for certain types of movies. Okay. Now, when your movie is reaching the climax and it is still in the climax mood, be very conscious of the sound you are using, especially if it is a conflict and the conflict is really intense. Don't go into very happy sound. You know, we have happy sounds and we have sad sounds. Even if you're not a music person, you will know when a sound is happy or when a sound is sad. Let me use a practical example as I round up. So is this sound happy or is this sound sad? Let's say, let me use this as an example. Is this sound happy or is this sound sad? Awesome, yeah, we got it right. Happy, it is a happy sound. So you can't put this kind of sound in a place where the conflict is really heated. It's actually happy. So another one, let's say this one. Someone said melancholy, someone said sad, someone said sad-ish. It's actually sad-ish. It can go either ways. Actually, in between, yeah, it's sad, but it can go either ways. Imagine a case where someone has been searching for a job for like 10 years and then the boss says, you finally have the job. And person's like, thank you. Thank you so much. So it can go both ways. It can go both ways. Let's look for another one. No, not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. I'm trying to look for, where are all my sad songs now? Oh, I've said it already. Oh, snap. Oh, but anyway, so I'm sure we all know happy songs and we all know sad songs and we all know in between songs and we know songs that are Ignition. Ignition ending was a sad song. Yes, you got it right. So it's good to always have that in mind when you're producing. Okay, I have a buffer time now. So let's just round up. Let me round up. So royalty-free websites. Royalty-free websites. There is another. Let me try and get one for you where I was able to write a list of sites. Let me see if I have that here. Okay, yeah, this is one. Let me stop sharing so I can show you that one. I want to show us one of the slides. Hold on, give me a second. So if you want, there are some sites that provide you with so much sound. These are examples of them. Free sound, sound crates, partner in rhyme, nice sound, fine sound, blah, 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 blah. And even YouTube, they are royalty free or copyright free content on YouTube. You can download these. Oh, sorry about that. You can download these sounds. You can go to these websites and download the sound. Let me quickly remove this and download the sounds. All right. So can you see that? So this site, many of these sites are actually paid for if you want to have access to them well. But something that you can do is to, if you collaborate with about 3 or 4 people that also want to get involved with this, tell them that let's come together and just pay for one account, okay? And then you have access to the site. Audio Block was introduced to me, for example, by Uncle Rex Wakama, and it's also a very nice place to get sound. YouTube is also somewhere I go to, especially for maybe comedy sounds. So if you don't want to produce, but then the issue with this, why I put this at the end of the PowerPoint is so that you can understand them before downloading sounds. So you don't just download a ton of sounds and not use them properly, okay? So let me stop here for the sake of our time, and I can't go to ADR for the sake of our time. So I believe that with the little explanation that I've done, we have a few ideas and a little knowledge of music production, background music, and sound effects. Thank you very much. I think we can go into the questions and answers now.
Wow. Wow. Can we give our wonderful instructor a wonderful round of applause? J. Mikey will celebrate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Please, if you have any question, please, can you please put it in the comment section, please, in the chat section. That's where we're going to pick it up faster, and it will help us to answer all your questions faster and better. Please, if you have any question, put it in the chat section, please. We don't have much time, and we'd like to please have the questions there. Jim Mikey, that was good, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, you covered a whole lot of things, and it's good to see you again. And thank you. It's good to see you again after how many years now? Good job, brother. I'm so happy to see what God is doing through you. God bless you. God bless your family and everything you do. So before we get the questions coming, Jim Mikey, can we have a sound for this training we're doing right now? Can we bring up something?
Yes,
sorry, put you on the spot. Can we try something? Let's try something. Let's try something.
Yes, please, J. Mikey.
Let's go. Don't worry.
Wait.
Tell me what to supply. Is it?
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I just thought we could put something together.
No, I'm big.
Even though it's not going to be professionally done, but at least we can put a sound. Let's go. Even if it's a mouse sound, just to try something there. Yeah. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Let's go.
How about it being an assignment?
How many people are supporting me? Let's have just a quick sound for this training. Just a quick one, even if it's just 30 seconds.
Okay, a quick sound.
Okay.
But you know, it's music production, right? So we have to actually sit down and produce it. You know, it's like.
But for this one, we don't want to go into production. Just cook up something so we have a feel of not this song. You don't want to do no. The thing is,
if we're going to produce, just like I was showing us the interface of my software, you have to first know what you want to produce, number one. Then you have to now look for the instruments, number two. All right. So when you look for the instruments, I don't know if we saw one that I put on YouTube when I was producing Magdalene sound. Maybe I can show us that. So the video was chopped short, but it took hours. It is an hours thing. It is not a minute thing. So when we now find the sound we need, we now have to be looking for each track and then be adjusting and adjust. So if we have 30 minutes here left, that 30 minutes will be spent on looking for one track. So these things take a lot of time. So even if I say I should try right now, okay, if I say I should share my screen, for example, and let me try and launch a new project.
So while we're doing that, can we please have our questions coming? Wow, that was a wonderful session. A whole lot of points. You mentioned while we're waiting for that to come up, our instructor mentioned, please, can you also put something you learned from this training? Can you put it in the comment, in the chat section, what you learned? One thing I learned is the fact that it's about what you want the audience to see, and not, the message you want to project to the audience, and not the scene in particular. Wow. Thank you. The sound score was amazing. Thank you. Please, let's have, what did you learn? What did you learn while we're waiting for the sound to come up? Finally, we're going to get something there. Good. Thank you, sir. So let's see. What did you learn? Please bring up what you learned. Let's see, what did you learn from this short training? Yes, I learned that the music or sound also tells 50% of the story. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes. Absolutely. From the music sound, you can predict what the movie is about. That's another lesson. Please, what did you learn? I learned that the sound must match the mood. Absolutely. It's not giving a happy vibe for a melancholic or a sad mood. Thank you. Absolutely. I learned that not every scene should have a sound. Absolutely. Focus more on the end credit sound. Very important. I learned how to insert music in my movies. Wonderful, wonderful. I learned that it's not every scene that should have a sound. Absolutely. Yes, yes. What did you learn? Absolutely. There's nothing as an absolute silence. There's always a sound for every, there's always an ambient sound for every scene. Even in mass, there's a sound. I keep that. I keep that. What did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn? Yeah, you have to be intentional about your sound. You have to be intentional. And once the movie is published, it's going to remain there for ever, as long as time lasts. So please make sure you put out quality sound, quality movie. Yes, I learned that absolutely there's no dead silence in any movie. Absolutely, the location, the environment is very important. Wonderful, wonderful. What did you learn? You can use a sound that shows environment that you are in. Absolutely. We have a question here. J. Mikey?
Yes.
Someone said, do I need to learn an instrument because of my films?
No, it's not compulsory to learn an instrument. Just like we said, it's about learning the principles of sound and music, but not necessarily learn an instrument. But if you are young and you have the time to learn an instrument, just learn the piano. Learn the piano, because music production is primarily piano based. So, but if not, you are good with just understanding the principles.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. So please, I hope that question was answered. Learn at least the piano, but it doesn't really have to. You don't need to learn it. If you have time, please learn. Another thing, what did you learn? We learned that avoid copyrighted sound. Very important, very important, very important. Yeah, watch the end credit. Someone said, I learned that when starting a movie or skit, it's always good to start the scene with the environment or location. Thank you very much. What did you learn? What did you learn? I learned that there's more to just current sound. Also understand the movie and which sound suits which scene. Absolutely. Know the sound that suits what scene. Don't put a hip hop high vibe song where you should have just an instrumental playing on the background. Very important. What did you learn? Please let our comments start coming in. Please, everyone on this line you must put something. You must put please put something you learned so that someone else can learn from what you learned. Someone said, J. Mikey, is a loud trombone best for screaming police scene, police chase?
Okay, I need to finish that bar before answering the question. Okay, is a loud trombone. Say that again. A
loud trombone best for a screaming police chase.
A screaming police chase. I think it depends on how you play it. It depends on how you play it. A loud trombone. I can't really envision that, but it depends on how you play. If you can accomplish it. I don't think you mean you are trying to use that to replace the police sirens. If that's the case, then no. But if it's as a sound effect for the feel, then I believe it could work. Creativity is not in a box. Creativity doesn't have a box. So yeah.
Thank you. J. Mike, we also have another one. How many sounds do you advise we have in film production?
It varies. There is no one sound, but you must have at least three. At least you must have three, because your movie doesn't have one tone all through. It has a minimum of three feels. It has a beginning, it has a conflict, and it has a resolution. So although the beginning can favor the resolution as well, but then so that it doesn't sound monotonous, it's now good to have a third one. So it must have a beginning. So it must have a sound that suits the beginning. So if your movie has just one tone, it gets boring. All right. So even Magdalene was like a few cast movie, was about 1 hour, but it had 6 scenes in total, 6 very long scenes actually. But then the music was at least, I think we had about 6-7 tracks. Where is it, Magdalene? Oh, Magdalene had 3. It had 3 tracks. Yeah. So yeah, but then those 3 tracks were well pieced, so you didn't feel like 3 tracks. So at least 3.
At least 3. So please have at least 3 tracks. J. Mike,
Advice
someone
it.
said, you know, the person that we spoke about learning, at least learning a key, the piano. The person said, I can play piano. So how do I use it to create soundtrack for movies?
Yeah, that's now learning music production, and that's where learning the software comes in. So you'd have to, if you have a Mac, I would just recommend you buy Logic Pro. I started using Logic Pro this year, and I'm not going back. Previously, I was using Reason, but propeller head Reason is tougher than Logic Pro. So if you have a Mac, go for Logic Pro. If you don't have a Mac, then go for Reason or Cubase or Studio One. There are many options. So pick one of them up and go on YouTube and learn. It will help you. Yeah. No, Final Cut is a video editing software, not a music production software. All right. Yeah.
J. Mike, the questions are coming in. So someone said I'm skeptical about having a producer because starting small might be costly. What do you advise, sir?
I would advise being friends with people that can produce. You see, we get to the point in our lives where friendship is no more about, oh, can we be friends? Can we be friends? You get to a certain age where friendship is based on what you can accomplish together. So if your circle of friends have no part in your calling, then you have to work on that circle of friends. Okay, so if I have a friend and that friend he can't handle the camera, he can't produce, he can't do anything, I'm not saying you should defriend them or unfriend them, but you need to find friends that can help in your calling. Because right now, as I am, I can operate Photoshop, but I don't have the time for it. But I have a friend who can do it, so I can tell him, okay, I need to do this for me. I'll pay you, but I'm not able to pay you the complete work. When it's time for him to do something for me too, when it's time for me to do something for him too, I can also help him out. All right. So in such cases, we are helping each other in our works, and it's helping out. Same way you can also go to your church. Many keyboardists are ready to explore and do very, very amazing things if you open their eyes to it. So maybe you are a very functional member in your church, or maybe you're in the choir, you go to your keyboardist, can we accomplish this thing? If the keyboardist is ready to do free stuff, fine. If not, you can tell him, okay, this is what I have. Can we work together to accomplish it? Oh, yes, fine. Some people might even say, don't worry, it's fine, I'll just do it, because they too want to explore and see the new possibilities that they can get involved with. So you find ways to work with people. It's not always about, yeah, let me just stop there.
Thank you so much, sir. Nobody works alone. Please work with people that are just like you said, people that will help you achieve purpose, because this ministry is not something that one person can do alone. You can't achieve much by yourself alone. And the amazing part is that God has put people around you that will help your purpose. But sometimes too, we overlook them. We overlook, like you said, the keyboard player in your church, even the person playing the percussion in your church might be someone that might help you with sound. But because you are like, you pray that God will open our eyes to see those people as we go in Jesus' name. Amen. So what else did you learn? For now, there's no question. So is our sound ready? Oh, we are waiting for it. We are waiting for it. We can't run from that. You stopped? No. No, we will complete what we started. God has begun the good work. Please, what did you learn again? What did you learn? Someone said, Joe Mikey, someone said, will you advise a piano for a skydive?
I'm not sure what that means. What is skydive though?
Please, can you explain that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what skydive means.
Please, can you explain that? Skydive, me too, I'm surprised when I saw it. Skydive, is that an application? Oh, is that what we have? Oh, we got something, find it. Great, thank you. Okay, while we're waiting for that, let's go back to what we learned. Someone said, let's see, what did you learn? We'll start reading them out. Someone said, I learned how to incorporate right sound on visuals. Thank you for that. Someone also said, what about Fruity Loops Studio, FL Studio?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. Fruity Loops is good and it's nice, but I don't usually recommend Fruity Loops for film production, because Fruity Loop, of course, basically softwares, music, and movie, or any kind of software. The software is as good as the person producing. It's as good as the producer. However, there are some softwares that are not recommended for certain things. Okay, just like a samurai or an assassin can use a knife to do his job, but it would not start with a knife. If he's to choose, he will start with a samurai sword. So the same way, Fruity Loops is good. I mean, but it is more for beat making. You want to make trap beats, Afro pop. Those are what Fruity Loops has, that punchy. So it's good for that. But if you want to make realistic sound for movies, I might not recommend it. All right, I'll recommend in the Reason, Cubase, Final Logic, Studio One. Those ones, they can give you more realistic sounds rather than beat making type of sound. But if you can accomplish it with Fruity Loops, of course, please go ahead and feel free. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Back to what we learned. We also learned that music and audio is 50%. It's 50%. That means your music is 50%, your audio is 50%. So the more as you pay attention to the visual, you also pay attention to the sound. Please keep what you learned coming in while we're waiting for the sound to come up. What did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn? To those, I hope you're taking note. I hope you're taking note. Someone said, can we access this Zoom recording for a catch-up later on? I think that will be uploaded. That should be uploaded on the Mount Zion Alumni Fellowship YouTube page. I hope that will be there, so you can find it there. What did you learn? Please, what did you learn? Yeah, partnership is the way to go. Absolutely, we can't work alone. Someone said, I learned how important team music plays a very big role in a movie. Absolutely. Someone has also said, Jim Mikey, someone said, what about the sounds that come on the keyboard? Could those be used for an entire production?
Yeah. Oh. It's very possible. In fact, my earlier sound productions were done with a keyboard. Of course, it was much more difficult than producing on a computer, but they were done from a keyboard. So I produced on the keyboard, then the editor connected the keyboard to his computer, and then he recorded what I did. So the sounds on the Yamaha keyboard, they're also very good for starters. But you might want to now, take it a step further afterwards.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
so
it's actually when some people jump down from the sky and then they use the parachutes to. Oh, I know what skydiving is. I just don't understand its connection with film.
Oh, okay. Now it's clear. Thank you.
Jumping from an airplane. So, what's the question again about skydiving?
The person said, will you advise a piano for a skydive? So that's I guess that sound part.
No, because piano has this calmness to it. So skydiving should have more of dun, dun, dun. Actually, it depends on the kind of sky. Why are they skydiving? Are they skydiving in Dubai for fun, or are they skydiving because they want to go and rob they want to rob Buckingham Palace? All right. So why are they skydiving? Is not the question. So you can skydive for different reasons. If it's skydiving for fun, then yeah, piano can go ahead, fine. But if it's skydiving for a tense scene, you definitely don't want to use piano. All right. So yeah, we've explained that the action is not really the issue, but the message you're trying to pass across from the action.
Absolutely. Okay, I think it said it's actually when some people jump down from the sky and then use parachute to slow their fall.
Yeah, that's skydiving.
So I think that's skydiving. So it's just for fun, basically. From what the question is.
He was actually defining what skydiving is. I'm like, we know what skydiving is, but what is the nature of that skydiving?
Absolutely. 6 minutes to go. What did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn? Okay. Someone said in your film production, Jim Mikey, how do you handle your sound recording, because they are so neat, and what equipment do you use? And if you have, can you share some? No. And if you have some, can you list them?
Oh, yeah.
That's so true.
What
the sounds
music
are
production?
really clean.
Thank you, first of all, for saying the music is so neat, but I
Thank
still feel
you.
I have a long way to go. And
Oh, good. They're so good.
I grew. I didn't, where I am right now, awesome, but I didn't start at this point. If you hear my early tracks, and when I mean early tracks, I'm just talking about less than 5 years, 6 years ago. Okay, no more than that, maybe 8 years ago. So I grew. There's a video I'm still going to put up on YouTube on where I started from. I started from, you know, these headphone microphones, those communicators. That was the mic. I broke off the headphones and I was using the mic. All right, the sound was horrible, but to my own ears it was so nice. But when I go back to hear them now, I want to cry. All right, so I grew. Then from there I started using this Shure mic, very simple church mic. And then before I got this, right now this is what I'm using to record my audio. Okay, so it's growth. It's growth, and you don't grow till you start. When you start, your next one and then your next one gets better than your previous, and it keeps getting better. So this is what I use for the audio recording. The software I always used, I started from Samplitude and Reason. No, I started from, in fact, I started from Keyboard, and then I went on to Samplitude. Then from Samplitude, I went to Reason. Then from Reason, I went to the higher Reason. Then now I'm using Logic Pro. So growth, the more you do it, and the more you do it, the more your ears get tuned, especially when you do a production and let some people criticize it. Not ordinary people or professionals, let them criticize your work. Then they tell you, okay, your bass is so weak, your this is still not strong enough. And then so your ears get tuned to what is better as time goes on. So I hear my previous tracks and I'm like, what was I listening to? This sounds horrible, but it's growth. So the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Thank
so
you
I always
so
say
much.
that the software is as good as the person. Okay, so I'm not using the high-tech sound card right now. This sound card has been with me for over 5 years. So even when my soundtracks were very wacky, it was still the same sound card. Now my tracks are better. It is still the same sound card. So yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means please let's give room for growth. Give room for growth. Learn, unlearn, grow. Let's learn, unlearn, grow. Learn, unlearn, grow. Absolutely. There's room for growth. There's room for consistency. Let's give us that room. Let's see. Are we ready now, J. Mikey? Let's go. We have 4 minutes left.
No more questions.
There's still questions.
No
someone said, okay, let's go ahead. Someone said, after having these sounds, what will you advise in the audio level while using it in the film production? In your film production, how do you, I think you already mentioned that already.
That's a very good question. I don't think I emphasized it. When you're producing, I mean, when you're laying your tracks into your movie, it is very important that your track does not compete with the voice. All right, except the idea is that everything is supposed to be punchy and loud and beat, then fine. But if it's, I had that issue when I was starting to, where the music will be loud because I want people to hear the music very well. So it's loud and then it begins to compete with the audio. Try to avoid that. Let your music. So it's impossible for me to say your track must not be more than minus 5 decibel, minus 8 decibel. I can't say that because it depends on the kind of movie, the kind of mood, the kind of audio. All right, so listen and don't just, and hey, another mistake we make is when we're laying tracks, don't use if you're using your laptop, don't use your laptop mic speaker to judge what is loud and what's not loud. Even if you do it on your laptop speaker, please make sure you listen to it on other audio devices before you let it out, because sometimes what you are hearing on your speaker, or you're saying, oh, the sound is not loud enough, by the time they take it to your church and play it in their speakers, you might realize that that's the only thing we are hearing. All the dialogue and the conversation gone. You understand? So hear it on other devices. Hear it maybe in your car. If you can't do that in your car, hear it in your TV, on your sitting room TV. If you have a deck in your house, better hear it there. That's how you know that the sound is either too loud or it's okay. All right. So there's no particular.
Someone said, okay, thank you. Someone said, what software do you use to make the music? Can you make a tutorial on how to use it?
There are like a ton of tutorials on YouTube on how to use Logic Pro. I think that's what makes Logic Pro interesting. I mentioned just now that I started using Logic Pro this year. And before that, I was using another software. And I just watched 2 tutorials. Although it wasn't difficult for me because I'm already a music producer, so it was just for me to adjust to the new one. But if you want to go fresh, there are a ton of tutorials online on YouTube. You don't even need to pay. You don't need to go to Skillshare. It's on YouTube for free. Logic Pro for beginners. You will see a ton of tutorials that you can watch. I don't need to do it. All right. And then if I'm inspired to do it later on, I will do it. But for now, I'm not.
Good. So someone said, is there a particular dB? What's dB?
Decibel. I doubt I said there is no specific decibel for which sound should be. It is about listening. You have to listen to know. Yeah.
Wow. I think we've covered all the questions we have here. If you have not answered your question, can you please just put them again in the comment, in the chat session? And so let's hear what we have. Let's hear our beat. Whatever you hear now is the first freshly produced. So it's our collective, even though it's edited by Jim Mikey, we're all supporting, and let's hear how it goes, and hopefully we can also drop our comment to see how hopefully we enjoy as well. So Jim Mikey, we're waiting for you, sir.
So right now I'm just doing the kick.
Little volume.
Okay.
Fresh from the studio. You've never heard it anywhere before. No copyright.
Duplicating the kick now.
Okay.
Let me add the snare. Now it's easy for me to add all these instruments because this is the work of another project. So I just deleted what was done and I'm using the same framework for this one. That's why I'm just picking it easily. Okay. Oh, mistake. Gotta do it again.
Oh, that sounds cool.
All right, next. Let's say, let me duplicate this first. Okay. So that instrument. Okay.
Some lyrics are coming to my head for that tune already.
I hear a rap coming up.
Wow. See, now we already have 2 people already putting vocals on just that.
Inspiration.
Absolutely.
Catching inspiration already. So
I'm
next,
telling you.
we have to add high octave string.
Yeah. Someone said, do you have an open channel for mentorship?
Not yet. Mentorship is something that I'm still kind of running away from. So all those that I'm mentoring in quote are just watching me. They're just watching me, but there's no actual channel that I'm using to. We are still learning now. Let's get to
hopefully we have that soon. Hopefully that will come up soon. Yeah. So let's go ahead.
All right. Nah, that's not the right one. We have to change this to maybe.
It's been a fantastic session, and thank you to everyone that joined us. And
all right. You can
after
keep
this,
going, I'll just reduce the volume.
So someone said, how about Mount Zion? Someone said I need a mentor in music storing to J Mikey. Someone said you be boss, so wow.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get that. I wanted to finish this first. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Someone was just okay. Someone was just saying they need mentor. They were asking about Mount Zion about the mentorship. Then Mommy Jarrett already said they should attend the academy and
yes, the
hopefully they can learn from
Mount Zion
them.
Film Academy will be holding this year. That's one of the best things that you can attend, especially if proximity is an issue. You can attend Mount Zion Film Academy, and once the email gets into the system, you can become a subscribed member of the website, and from there, on and on and on. Yeah.
I know this might be, you might laugh to this, but Evangelist Rex Wakama said I need a mentor, J. Mikey.
Ah! my father. I know what
I know you might laugh to that.
He's my mentor right now. And
the boss.
You know what Uncle Rex has introduced me to in this life. No.
The boss himself, sir. We celebrate you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, let's hear it then. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful session. And I know, Jim, there's an assignment that probably you might be want to give us. Probably we can go into that after
okay,
the music session.
The assignment would be to either you have a short movie already. It's actually two assignments. First assignment is if you have a short movie that you've already done or you've not done a movie yet, based on everything that we've taught, you can go to either of the websites or any end credit movie and then get sounds to lay, and then lay these sounds based on the things that we've taught. That's the first assignment. So the second assignment would be to make sure that you watch 5 different kinds of professionally done movies and listen to the end credits. Now, when I mean listen to the end credits, Mount Zion, we don't really do Nigerian movies. Our end credits are not that long, so you might not use Nigerian movies as an example. Probably a Hollywood movie. Watch it and make sure you listen to the end credits. And these movies that you're watching, you might watch it the first time casually. The second time you're going to watch it, write down the tones or the sounds that you feel was used. It's kind of like an I don't know how I can explain this, but if you were having a project, you are writing them down based on your explanations. Oh, this scene, there was a high-pitched sound that was used to signify blah, 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 blah. When you write these things down, it gets your ears active, all right? So you might watch it the first time casually, but then I say 5 movies, 1 comedy, 1 action, 1 maybe epic, whichever. Just make sure there are 5 different kinds. Don't go and watch 5 Korean movies. No. All right. Don't do that. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jim, please, I just want to, about the movies. I want us to be, movies are powerful, and what we watch are really.
Yes, I need to emphasize that.
Really amazing.
Yes,
yeah.
as drama ministers and as Christians, be careful, because you might say you are just watching it because, but be careful of the kind. Don't go and watch a movie where they are chanting incantations, you're praising a demon, and you are saying you are trying to get chants. No, you have to be very careful. And usually, movies right now online, they have these warnings there, either based on what the content is about. So don't go looking for a romantic film saying you want to watch the romantic genre. All right. Ignition is a romantic movie in quote, but you see how safe it is. So we have to be careful. Films rated 18, and then they say XNLV is filled in it. You know what SNLV is? If you don't know what it is, sex, nudity, strong language, violence. Be careful of those things. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. So let's have our music, and I think that there's no question any longer. Yeah. So, and please let's have our your comment on the sound. This is the freshly produced sound. You've not heard it anywhere. You can have that from us. So as you're listening to the sound, give us so every people who are, if you're still online, in what scene can you use this sound? In what scene can you use it? What kind of ambient sound would it be? What can you add to it? What's the mood of the scene? I hope that's not an assignment. It sounds like an assignment. So just put the mood, the ambience, the scene, Just create a little scene from the sound you're listening to, and let's have them in the chat session. Let's go. Let's go. We'll be rounding up soon. Yeah, the mood could be conversational.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we discussing that now? Should we discuss that?
Oh
now?
yeah, go ahead. Just so that we'll have the thing coming in as well.
Ask, based on what I'm playing right now, is it happy or sad? Is this mood happy or sad based on what we are seeing right now? Does it sound happy or does it sound sad?
Is it happy or sound? Someone said happy.
Absolutely correct. It's happy. It's a happy sound.
Good.
It's a happy sound.
Where should the assignment be submitted to?
Please don't submit it to me. I always avoid those stuff because please don't. It's a personal assignment, all right? It's kind of like to develop yourself, all right? So don't submit it to me. Have that, keep that, it will help you. Okay.
Someone said the mood could be like a journey, like someone just had a visa to travel.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Queenetta
Hey, Ambrose. Oh, no. Nailed it. That is the best. That is the best representation of this track you're hearing. The best person got a visa and is traveling. Oh, wherever you are. Wait, Quinta Ambrose, you were around in my editing class.
Oh, okay.
I'm so proud of you. I remember the name. So proud of you. That was good. Good. So that sounds like a resolution of a conflict. Beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
We are getting it. No. I'm impressed. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Thank you.
I'm happy.
Thank you. So I think with our sound, something like a feeling of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're done with the class now.
Okay.
Good job to our instructor.
Thank you. Let me stop.
Thank you so much, sir. We celebrate you. Thank you. That was a wonderful session. It was loaded from the beginning to the end. Thank you so much. More blessings, more grace on you, sir. Thank you for the great job you do. We celebrate you. Hallelujah. Thank you.
And the burden in my spirit, it is for my generation. Are we living according to his plan? There's a path and purpose for every man. There's a calling for greater harvest.